This might be our most diverse top 5 cards ever because there are cards heating up across the entire sports card market. In addition to baseball and basketball, we've also got golf, hockey, and UFC to talk about today. We'll tell you which cards are heating up the most now. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another Top 5 Tuesday. It feels good to be back in the studio today after an entire week of celebration for the Gators basketball national championship. That was absolutely incredible, being at the Final Four in the championship game. And then I got to go to the Masters as well, which, as you can imagine, was an unbelievable experience. I'm very thankful and humbled to get the experience to get to go to both incredible events last week. But today, I'm back here to tell you about the cards that are heating up, because there are several. And of course, today's Top 5 is sponsored by Whatnot. Whatnot has awesome live auctions every day and night, starting at just $1 for packs, boxes, breaks, singles, and more. It's a lot of fun. And if you scan the QR code on your screen or use the special link in our show description below, you'll get $15 in free credit when you sign up for Whatnot. Okay, let's start today by taking a look at the overall sports card market with the Market Pulse by Market Movers. Over the last 7 days, the SAI 500 index of the 500 most prominent sports cards is up ever so slightly, down a little over the last 30 days, but up 2.7% if you go back to January 1st, the beginning of the year. So it's nice to see it trending in the right direction, while there are other things such as, the stock market that seem to maybe not be trending in that direction this year. So there you go. Put your money into sports cards. At least at the moment, it seems to be slightly safer and less volatile. But now let's talk about the cards that are going up and down the most. It is time for today's Top 5 cards. We're starting today with a cold card, as we do every week, because it is a reminder that often the hot cards you see featured on this show can quickly turn cold in the sports card market. And wow, this one is perhaps surprising, at least to maybe some of you. Our cold card this week is Alexander Ovechkin. Yes, that is right. Ovechkin, the guy who just broke Wayne Gretzky's career goals scored record, netting his 895th goal on April 6th versus the New York Islanders. Would you believe it? That Ovechkin's cards overall, all of the cards that we're tracking in Market Movers, 108 different Alexander Ovechkin cards, as a collective, they are down 11% over the course of the last week since he broke that record. And some of them are down a lot over the last 30 days, which we are about to look at. And look, here is the lesson. A lot of the sports card market is built upon hype. And oftentimes when a player is in the hype cycle, that is when their cards are selling for the most. It's buy the rumor and sell the news. That's kind of an old stock saying, and that's the case. The hype around Ovechkin, everyone knew, over the last few months that he was going to break this record. So the hype began and the card prices went up and up and up. And then when he actually broke the record, that was kind of their peak. And now they have come down since then. We see this even with quarterbacks who win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, a few years ago, wins the Super Bowl, wins Super Bowl MVP. And then a couple weeks after the Super Bowl, all of his cards are down. Because the peak was leading up to the actual Super Bowl event. That was the peak. So you got to keep that in mind if you're speculating on sports cards. It's more about the hype. It's more about the rumor. And it's less about the news. It's less about the event actually occurring. And let's take a look here in Market Movers, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So these are some prominent Alexander Ovechkin rookie cards. So this is his 2005 Upper Deck Young Guns base card. We're going to look at that in PSA 10. And we're also going to look at his 2005 Upper Deck rookie class in PSA 10 as well. And then his 2005 SP Authentic Future Watch Auto. We'll look at that at BGS 9.5 and BGS 9. And then finally, this is a less common rookie card of his, the 2005 Fleer Ultra Difference Makers in PSA 10. And look at the graph. Look at the graph. He breaks the record right here. Right there is the day he broke the record. And since that happened, all of these cards have gone down. In fact, over the last 30 days, his Upper Deck Young Guns base in PSA 10 is down over 17%. 30 days ago, that card was selling for $5,450, and now it's down to $4,500. And his Upper Deck rookie base dropped from $473 down to $450. His SP Authentic Future Watch Auto in BGS 9.5, that was a $7,820 card 30 days ago, and it most recently sold for $5,760, and it also dropped in BGS 9 by a similar percentage. And then his Fleer Ultra Difference Makers, somebody paid $332 for that card 30 days ago in PSA 10. It most recently sold for just $122. This is one of the crazy things about the sports card market, but it's the reality. So if you're speculating, this is definitely a lesson learned. But now let's talk about cards going up, and we're starting with one of the all-time greats from the world of soccer, and that is Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, of course, we all know Ronaldo has had an amazing career. He's won more than 30 major club titles, including 4 Champions League titles and 2 La Liga titles with Real Madrid, and 1 Champions League title and 3 Premier League titles with Manchester United. And of course, for the last couple of years, he has been over in the Saudi Pro League, where he has a contract that is paying him unbelievable amounts of money. Now, Ronaldo, being one of the GOATs of soccer, is definitely a good long-term investment, especially if you're getting some of his rookie cards. And it looks like he's going to make waves beyond soccer as well. It was recently announced that he's partnering with Hollywood filmmaker Matthew Vaughn on opening up a new film studio. So it's going to be interesting to see what Ronaldo does post-soccer career. So we know his rookie cards are going to be a good long-term investment, but today I wanted to feature his Kabooms. People love the Kabooms, of course. These are some of the iconic cards of the Panini era. And Cristiano Ronaldo, as we look here in Market Movers, he has 5 different Kabooms. This is his 2017 Select Kaboom. This is his first Kaboom ever. We're going to look at this one at PSA 10, but that's a very rare card, population of 14. And there have not actually been any sales of that card over the last 180 days, which we're looking at on the graph. So that one's locked away in collections. You don't see it very often. Here's his 2018 Kaboom, his second year Kaboom. We're going to look at that one in PSA 10. His 2021 Donruss Kaboom in PSA 10. His 2022 Donruss Kaboom in PSA 10. And then just recently came out the 2024 Donruss Kaboom. We haven't seen sales of this recently in PSA 10, so we're going to look at this in BGS 9. And you can see we're looking over the last 6 months, and for the most part, these have been pretty solid investments. That 2018 Kaboom PSA 10, it had a big sale recently. So that card, 6 months ago, somebody paid $1,140 for that card, and it most recently sold for $2,100. So that's gone up a lot. That's gone up about 85%. Granted, just a few sales of that card because there's not many of them out there, a total population of just 44. But there's a lot of interest. And his 2021 Donruss Kaboom has jumped up a little bit in PSA 10 over the course of the last 6 months. His 2022 Donruss Kaboom in PSA 10 down ever so slightly, down about 2% over the last 6 months. And his 2024 Donruss Kaboom, we've only seen 1 sale of that in that BGS 9 grade. So no trend line there. But these Kabooms being iconic cards, I think if you were to get some of these, lock them away, bring them back out of your safe 20 or 30 years from now, you're probably going to be pretty happy with what they're worth. Now let's get started with today's top 5 list by looking at a younger player making an impact on the hardwood. And that would be Kevin Porter Jr., the guard for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now you may remember back a few years ago when Kevin Porter Jr. was seen as a highly touted prospect, one of the bright young stars perhaps of the NBA. He had a promising first few years in Cleveland and then Houston. And back in 2022-23, he had a career year where he averaged over 19 points per game and put up good rebounding numbers, good assist numbers as well. And he surely was on our top 5 list back then. But he then had a slew of disputes with teammates. He had a very serious legal case filed against him. All of this threatened to end his NBA career. He even had to play a season in Greece to try to keep his basketball career alive. But he's back in the NBA now, playing with Milwaukee, and he's doing really, really well. In the month of April, he averaged almost 17 points per game. He also contributed quite a bit on the boards and in the assists department. And Kevin Porter Jr. and Giannis have a nice connection as well, which they're going to need in the playoffs if they want to get out of the first round versus the Pacers. Let's take a look here in Market Movers. We're going to look at 5 of Kevin Porter Jr.'s rookie cards. These are still all inexpensive. This is his Prism Silver PSA 10. It's still only a $12.50 card, so this costs less than the grading fee, but it is up about 9% over the course of the last 30 days. His Optic Holo in PSA 10 most recently sold for about $17. It's up 210% over the last 30 days. His Prism Orange Ice in PSA 10, that one recently sold for $20, which is up 215%. His Prism Red, White, and Blue in PSA 10 from 2019. This one recently sold for $14. It's up about 91%. And then finally, his 2019 Mosaic Reactive Orange in PSA 10. This one recently sold for $12.49. It is up 127%. So big percentage gains over the last 30 days, even though Kevin Porter Jr.'s cards are still very inexpensive overall. Where will the prices go from here? Probably is going to depend on what the Bucks do in the playoffs. All right, let's go to baseball for the number 4 card today, and it is Spencer Torkelson, the first baseman for the Detroit Tigers. Torkelson was, of course, a former first overall pick in the Major League Baseball draft back in 2020. He was an absolute phenom at Arizona State, so there were a lot of Tigers fans very excited when he got drafted. And in 2023, he did hit 31 home runs and appeared to be starting to show signs of growth. But then in 2024, he took a major step backwards. He hit just 10 home runs in 91 games, actually got demoted to AAA for 58 games of last season. Heading into spring training this year, it was uncertain whether Torkelson would even make the opening day roster. But flash forward 3 weeks, and Tork is an early favorite along with Mike Trout for 2025 Comeback Player of the Year. So far this year, he is hitting .309. He has a 1.082 OPS, which is 8th best in all of baseball. And without going into all of the details and explanations, we are going to look at Torkelson's 2024 and 2025 baseball savant profiles. And all you need to know when you're looking at this is that blue is bad and red is good. And you can see 2024 had a lot of blue. 2025 has a lot of red. By the way, that graphic was supplied to me by Teapot, who of course is a huge Detroit Tigers fan. So he's super excited to have Torkelson on the list today. So he wanted to get all the stats in there to make Torkelson's case for being fantastic. So there you go. Let's look at his cards here and see how fantastic they are. So we're going to look at Torkelson's 2020 Bowman draft. This is his first Bowman auto. We're going to look at the refractor version of that, number to 499 in PSA 9. There haven't been any PSA 10 sales recently. We're also going to look at his 2020 Bowman Draft Chrome Refractor non-auto version. We'll look at that in PSA 10. Then we're going to look at his 2022 Topps Chrome Rookie Auto Refractor in PSA 10. And then finally, his 2022 Topps Chrome Update Sapphire Edition rookie card in PSA 10 as well. All 4 of these up quite a bit in the market over the last 30 days. In fact, they're up anywhere between 29% and 160%. We're seeing big gains. That Bowman Draft Auto jumped from $159 to $205 in PSA 9. And then the Bowman Draft Refractor Non-Auto jumped from $25 to $65 in PSA 10 over the last 30 days. The Topps Chrome Rookie Auto Refractor in PSA 10 jumped from $130 to $230. And the Sapphire from $25 to $50 over the last 30 days. Hey, look at that. Spencer Torkelson getting it done on the diamond and in the sports card market. All right, we are going to UFC for the number 3 card today, and it is Paddy Pimblett. Paddy the Baddy, the 12th ranked lightweight UFC fighter. Now, of course, Paddy is one of the most charismatic and marketable fighters in the UFC today, and recently he's been facing tougher and tougher competition, and this is helping his star grow in popularity. Many have speculated whether or not Paddy actually has the skills to become a legitimate title contender. We still don't maybe know yet, but he's definitely working his way up to playing better fighters and showing that he definitely has some potential to continue to grow. In his last fight versus King Green, Paddy submitted Green in under 2 minutes with what some consider to be a submission of the year candidate. And then this past Saturday night, he proved all the haters wrong and absolutely dominated Michael Chandler, an established veteran who everyone expected to be the hardest test of Paddy's career so far, knocking out Chandler in the 3rd round in a fight that really wasn't close at all. So of course, all of this has Paddy's cards going crazy. Look here in market movers. Look at how they jumped just over the last few days since that last UFC fight. Absolutely skyrocketing off the page here. And the cards that we're looking at are Patty's 2022 Prism UFC base card in PSA 10. That one up 193% over the course of the last 30 days. That is now a $50 card. And then how about his 2022 Prism UFC Silver in PSA 10? That one up 136% over the last 30 days. That's now a $90 card. The raw version of that card is also up a ton. It is now up to about $21. That is up 216% over the last 30 days. And finally, Patty's 2021 Panini Instant UFC card, that card right there in PSA 10, that card up 25% over the last 30 days. That is now a $35 card. All right, Patty, we see you. Those are some impressive gains in the card market. Back to basketball for the number 2 card today, but this time, women's college basketball. You might have guessed, Paige Bueckers would be on today's list, and she is. Of course, Paige Bueckers is the point guard for the UConn Huskies, one of the best and most popular women's basketball players overall. And back on April the 6th, she and her UConn teammates dominated the juggernaut South Carolina to win the national title by a score of 82-59. And then Monday night, she was selected number 1 overall in the 2025 WNBA draft by the Dallas Wings. They're hoping that she can transform their franchise in the way that Caitlin Clark has done for Indiana. I think it's very possible she will. Of course, all of this is causing Paige Bueckers cards to continue to rise. They've been hot for a while, and they continue to be hot. Let's look here in market movers. We're going to look at 5 of her cards. We're going to look at her 2023 Bowman Chrome base card in PSA 10. That's her first Bowman. We'll also look at the pink refractor version of that card in PSA 10 as well, and then the regular refractor version of that card in PSA 10. And then we're going to look at her 2023 Bowman Chrome University autograph refractor. We'll look at that one in raw condition, and then finally her Bowman U Now. There it is right there from 2023 Bowman U. I believe that was, that was Bowman U Now when she won Player of the Year back in 2023. That one in PSA 10. All of these cards up a lot over the last 30 days. You can see they're all up anywhere between about 18% and all the way up at 50%. Her Bowman Chrome base first has jumped from $58 to $69. The pink refractor in PSA 10 from $80 to $120. The regular refractor from $90 to $111. That Prospect Auto Raw has jumped from $316 to $450. And the Bowman U Now in PSA 10 from $66 to $80. Congratulations, Paige Bueckers, for getting it done. All right, it's time for today's number 1 card, but before I give it to you, let me remind you that all of the charts and graphs from today's show are from Market Movers. And look, Market Movers is the absolute best way to track the price of sports cards and understand what is going on in the sports card market, and also track your entire collection. And you can get started for free. Just go to sportscardinvestor.com and click Market Movers in the main menu bar, or go to the App Store on your phone and search Market Movers. Get the Market Movers app today. Try it out for free. I think you're gonna love Market Movers. Okay, here we are. The number 1 card of the week. If you were paying attention over the weekend, you might know who it is. He won a certain prestigious golf tournament on Sunday. Of course, I'm talking about Rory McIlroy. What a Masters he had, certainly filled with all kinds of drama and epic tension. There were moments when it seemed he was going to run away with it, and then there were moments when it seemed he was going to choke it away. And those moments kept alternating throughout the day on Saturday and on Sunday. It was pretty amazing to watch. I had the honor of getting to go to the Masters and watch part of it this week, which was an incredible experience. I got to see Rory out there. So that was super cool, especially now in retrospect, to get that experience. Just absolutely wonderful. Of course, Rory is now one of just 6 golfers to complete the career Grand Slam, which happens when a player wins all 4 major championships: the Masters, the PGA Championship, the US Open, and the British Open. So he got all of those done. He's got the career Grand Slam. Congratulations to Rory McIlroy. Okay, let's take a look at some of his cards here in Market Movers. He doesn't have a lot of cards, but we got a few of them up here on the screen. This is his 2014 SP Authentic Rookie Auto card. So this is kind of considered his rookie, one of his premier rookie cards right here. We're gonna look at this one in BGS 9. We're also going to look at his 2011 Sports Illustrated for Kids card. We're going to look at this one here in PSA 9 raw and BGS 8 condition, because those are the ones that have had recent sales. All of these are pretty low population, so not a lot of sales of these, but the sales that have happened have gone up a lot. Over the last 30 days, these cards are up anywhere between 21% and 54%. His BGS 9 of his SP Authentic Rookie Auto from 2014 has jumped from $815 to $1,100, I should say, in BGS 9 condition. And then his Sports Illustrated from 2011 in PSA 9 has jumped from $250 to $384. Raw from around $16 up to $25, and BGS 8 from $111 up to $135. It has been an impressive run for Rory McIlroy. Congratulations to him. And if you have any of his cards, congratulations to you. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's top 5. If you did, please give the video a like. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel. We certainly appreciate when you subscribe. And go get Market Movers right now. Go to sportscardinvestor.com and click Market Movers in the main menu bar, or download the Market Movers app to your phone. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you soon with our next episode. Take care.